All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us. It is 3:05.
In the end, oh, that's not good. We don't want
It is 3:05 here in Kitsap County. It is the first Tuesday of the month. It is after Labor Day. So I'm trying to get myself together. I'm doing the best that I can. So bear with me today. But it's a great day. It is our library day, Kitsap Regional Library Day. And you know what that means? That means that we have Priya Chari with us today. And now I'm gonna bring her up and I'm gonna give her a nice applause here. So let's go ahead and do that.
Aw, thanks.
Priya, how are you doing today?
I am doing swell, thank you. How are you doing?
You know what? I am doing pretty well. I can't complain. Actually, I'm doing
Nice.
great. I'm having a little bit of a internal crisis because I have my little girl's going into junior high tomorrow. So,
Oh, it's tough.
don't know if I'm ready for that. But she's super excited for
Very
sure.
cool. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I'm excited for her. That's a big life change.
Oh man, she wanted summer to end like a month and a half ago. So and they've got like this kind of pre-day today. So today is like the unofficial start, but tomorrow will really be her first day. So yeah, she's just super pumped and excited about that. So yeah, it is what it is. She loves learning, and that's the thing that I really cherish. Well, I cherish a lot of things about Layla, but that's one big one is that she has this passion for learning. So it's like, all right, I want to hold on to that for as long as possible because sometimes, kids lose it in junior high and high school. So I don't want her to lose that. I want her to keep that energy.
Yeah, that's a good attitude to have.
Hmm. Now, was that your experience for junior high and high school?
I was a huge nerd when I was younger and still kind of am. So I was always really, really excited to start school again. And thankfully, my little group of friends were also huge nerds. So we were all like, yes, what classes are we taking this year? Like, so pumped just to like jump into new subjects. And I think on a less conscious level, that like social emotional learning that goes on when you start a new school or a new year and sort of figure out like
Mhm.
what does it mean to be 12 or 14, like that stuff's really big. So yeah.
She's not even 11 yet. She's going into the
Oh.
into the 6th grade. It's like, oh, Layla, slow down, girl. He's
Well,
just
I wish her
motoring
the
right along.
best. Yeah, that's like a huge life transition. I am so stoked for her.
Yeah, she's pumped. Well, before we get started, in the interest of full disclosure, I am now a trustee for the Kitsap Regional Library. So I give myself a horn there. Got my shirt on today. I decided not to wear a tie. I was like, well, you know what? It's the first podcast of being a trustee, so I'll put on my shirt. So I've been wearing this a few times. Layla had it on day before yesterday, and so it's too big for her. So it's like a night shirt, but she just loves her shirt, so she's just wearing it. So she's just pumped.
Nice, nice. I think it's the cutest way to just see families matching in public. Like normally I feel like kids are like, ew, no, I don't want to match my parents. But it's a good look. It looks great on you.
That's awesome. All right, so what's new in the zoo of the Kitsap Regional Library?
Yeah. So speaking for downtown Bremerton, we are open again. If you tried to visit us in the past week, unfortunately, no one was here to greet you. We were closed for construction. To sort of set us up for eventually getting a nice, beautiful, cool HVAC system in our nice, beautiful, cool old building. So we were closed for a little bit. Really appreciate everyone's patience as we were going through some construction. We are now open for full service again at downtown. That said, we're closed for the last full week of August. So at the downtown Bremerton branch, we are extending our summer learning prize pickup period for the rest of this week. So if you haven't gotten your prize yet and you haven't gotten a chance to stop by any other branches to get yours, please do come by downtown. We've got plenty of books to give away, plenty of stickers. I think we still have all youth sizes for t-shirts and a couple of adult sizes, but don't quote me on that. And you're welcome to call in and check what sizes we have if you don't want to stop by just yet. But yeah, we've got so many books to give away. So if you have read at least 10 hours from June 1st all the way through the current day, you are eligible to come get a free book that you can keep forever and not bring back to the library. And we've got a really nice range of choices for adults, teens, and all different kids age groups as well. So that is sort of the wrap up for our summer learning program. We also want to encourage you, if you haven't yet had the chance to share some feedback and would like to, we would love to hear any feedback you have about this year's program. How did you hear about it? Did you hear about it? Did you enjoy the selection of prizes? Did you enjoy the theme? What feedback can you give us to do better next year? So all of our branches should have the just little teeny paper surveys that you can sort of fill out on the fly and give to a staff member, or we have one online as well, and I will show you where to find that. I'm going to share my screen real quick.
All right, you're gonna share your screen. All right.
Looks good. You see in the homepage?
Yep. Let me go ahead and pull that up for everyone. Go ahead. You're good.
Cool. All right. So on our lovely homepage here, you'll see on the banner, we've got our Inspire Light for September with all of our programs, events, services. We're just going to look at the survey real quick, though. So you can click into that or just go to our summer learning homepage, krl.org/summer. And sort of scroll down a teensy bit. It'll show you what prizes were available to enter. We have sent off all the entries, so I'm sorry if you didn't get yours in on time. There's always next year. But winners will be drawn in the next week or so and will be contacted by September 15th. So if you have entered to win one of the 3 prize packs at any location, do just keep an eye out for some sort of notification whether you've won. But the survey is what I would like to just highlight here. We have it in paper at the branches as well as a link right here. So we're just hoping to get really good ideas for future years. So we'll click into that. And it's just a really simple, like, is this your first year participating? Yes, no. Goes on a little ways. So just a few questions that we really hope that we can take into future years and improve. Maybe you really loved the selection of books, but missed the picnic blankets that we had last year, or really hated the books and would love to see different formats, or want to see more languages represented, that type of thing. Please do give us that feedback. It really does help. So that is the wrap up for summer learning. What else do we have going on? Our September Inspire Light is available now in all of our branches. I'll just click into it so you can see the digital version here. And that's at krl.org/inspire.
As you're clicking into it, Priya, how long can folks come in to verify their 10 hours of reading and like get their t-shirt?
So I know that the downtown branch where I am, we're doing it through the rest of this week because we were closed last week. Some of the other branches have really stuck to the schedule. It's supposed to run through the end of August. So if you're not in the vicinity of downtown, feel free to call your local branch and just ask if they still have the prizes available. If you are downtown, just stop on by. We'll keep everything out at least through Friday.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. And if you're not sure if you're going to make it in time, give us a call and just let us know, like, hey, I'm actually not able to come in until Saturday. Can you hold something for me? And we're happy to do that too. Want to work with you. So for Inspire, you can see on the front cover here, we've got a little blurb about BrainFuse, which is one of our databases. And I'll go into it really briefly after this, but I'm just going to skip forward a little bit. Formatted the same as usual. We've got all of our events and programs for the different age groups. So I want to just highlight in the adult section here. I've had to skip through a couple things because we're a little ways in. Tomorrow, it's a hybrid program about saving money for your financial future in the vein of retirement, employer-based savings plans, things like that. It'll be hybrid. Yeah. I think this is like really important stuff that people tend not to think about until they have to. And that's at the point when you can't really do anything about it. So this will be a hybrid program in person at the Sylvan Way location and on Zoom. So if you can't make it to Sylvan tomorrow at 5:30 p.m., feel free to click into the Zoom link, which will be on the event page, or if you just go to our website, we're on the website. I'll show you the link. And you can click into the Zoom. You do not have to have your audio or camera on or anything. You can just listen. This is mostly an informational program, and it'll be led by a representative from the U.S. Department of Labor's Employee Benefits Security Administration. So they're going
Oh,
to have some
wow.
really good info there, as well as some like booklets that you can take home with you. And we should have those booklets available at the very least, the downtown branch, if you can't make it in person to this event.
And what time is that?
That is tomorrow, Wednesday the 7th at 5:30 p.m. at the Sylvan Way location or on Zoom. Yes. We also have some upcoming programs at other branches. We've got one on food preservation in Poulsbo, a CPR certification in Poulsbo as well. Those are both this weekend. We've got Veg Club up in Cambridge. That's an ongoing series about gardening and farming. The upcoming Enlighten Kitsap Community Forum program, which is every month on the third Friday of the month. This month's topic is the solar system and all things space with a representative from NASA's Jet Propulsion Labs. That's going to be really cool. If you ever have any questions about anything solar system related, please do dial into this. It is on Zoom, and you can just put questions in the chat, and they will cover that. Another program we have downtown Bremerton, the second of two yoga programs at the end of the month. We had the first one at the end of August, and the next one will be September 24th, which is a Saturday at 10:30 a.m. It's yoga and writing. So you'll have a little bit of gentle movement, nothing too strenuous, a little bit of meditative reflection, and then opportunities to take that reflective meditation and start it into a journal and sort of get some of those internal thoughts going. Really peaceful, really relaxing, really rejuvenating. This program is registration required though, because we want to make sure we have enough space for the people there. So if you would like to attend to this, please do go to the event page, and there's a little link where you just click register, put in your name, and we'll go from there. So that's for adults. We've got our ongoing book groups at downtown. On the fourth Monday of every month, we have our Bremerton book group. This month, the theme is just graphic novels. So if you want to participate, you don't
Graphic
have to have
novels.
joined us. Yes, any
Oh,
graphic novel that you would
man.
like. We don't care what it is. And we do have a really large selection of graphic novels available in our library system for adults, teens, and kids on a whole range of topics. So if you are like, I only do memoirs, we got a graphic novel for you. If you are like, I only do superheroes, we got a graphic novel for you. If you're like, I want, nonfiction history, we got one for you. So there's a whole world of graphic novels out there. We don't really care what it is. We just want you to explore this format. If you haven't already, come and talk to us about it. I know it says virtual here, but it's actually hybrid. So if you'd like to come in person at the downtown branch, you're more than welcome to. Otherwise, the Zoom link, as always, will be set up. That's on the 26th. And as you can see, we've got a smattering of other book groups available, quite a few. Especially we've got 3 at Sylvan Way. We've got our general Sylvan Way group, which is on the 10th. We've got our nonfiction group on the 20th and our bestsellers group on the 26th. So you have lots of options if you're in Bremerton or beyond.
So, Pri, I have to ask, do you have any
Yes.
recommendations for graphic novels?
Well, it depends on what you're interested in reading. What topics do you like, or authors, or what have you, right?
Ooh, I don't know.
I
I
don't
mean,
mean to put you on the spot.
probably varies for
Mm.
for folks listening, but for
Mhm.
me, I've always wanted to get into. I didn't grow up with comics, but now we're in
Mhm.
the age of DC and Marvel, so it's really
Mm.
pretty awesome. So that would be pretty awesome.
Yeah, so we've got
And
a really nice selection of the traditional comics graphic novels where they'll look familiar if you ever read comics as a child. And the cool thing is we've got them sort of in different formats for all ages. So if you want to read I don't know, Thor off the top of my head, we've got comics that were published specifically for teens and young adults in mind. With that character, we've got for adults that are a little bit grittier, and a lot of them have children's versions as well. So specific to superheroes, but there's all types of graphic novels out there, especially I don't know, adaptations of existing literary pieces. As an example, I think it was last year, I really wanted to read Octavia Butler. And I wasn't in a place where I could like sit down and read a novel. Just my brain wasn't working with that. But I got the adaptation, the graphic novel adaptation of, I think it was Kindred. And it's same exact plot, same exact characters, storylines, all just adapted from the novel into a graphic format. And I just raced through it. I think because it, changes the way that your brain interacts with the story, but you're still sort of getting like the action, the movement, the characters, the dialogue. And because I finished that, I was like, oh, I'm going to go read the novel now. Like, because I have had that pull in. There's tons of different adaptations if that's something you're leaning into. But
So, well, let me ask you, what is a graphic novel?
yeah, I wish I had one on hand to show you. So it is just a story told with a visual element. Like, it is not a specific set of requirements, really. All it needs to be is some sort of story. It can be fictional or non-fictional. It can be poetry. It can be like your traditional superhero stories. It can be, a nonfiction essay on economics, but with some sort of visual element included there. So often it will be primarily visual, and you'll see little like speech bubbles and thought bubbles and things like that. But there are really interesting hybrids where you might find like half a page of text and then like 5 pages of visuals that sort of work off of that. And it really just depends on the author, the artist, and the sort of story that they're telling. I was working on a list of graphic novels for our book group members who have expressed interest in participating, and they're really interested in thrillers. So they're like, oh, find us some murder thrillers, like crime thrillers. And we have a surprising amount of those in all different formats. Some are a little grittier, some are kind of like, cozier. Some of them are very noir, like 1930s detectives, but same types of stories you would find in a, print book, but just with visuals added.
So, like
Yeah.
in the crime thriller, you might have an image of a crime scene while you're reading about, uh, you know, trying to detect what's in there and discover the evidence. And
Yeah, yeah. You might like follow the thought process of the detective as he's working through his memory and seeing like, oh, where have I seen that woman's face before? And then like flashbacks or, that type of thing. I'm not a huge thriller person, so it's like I will try to find some for you. But there really is a graphic novel out there for everyone, depending on what content you want to read about, what style, how fast it moves. Do you like your graphic novels in black and white or full color, things like that. I
wow,
like to say
okay.
there's something out there for everyone. You just have to do put a little work in to find it. But I'm happy to find recommendations for you if you'd like. Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. We talked about this before, I think a few months back, and
Mhm.
before then, I think I have to admit that I thought graphic novels were only comics. And so,
Yeah, a lot of
I
people
learned
do.
something a few months ago. It's like, oh, okay. Do I want to admit that? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll go ahead and admit that.
Yeah, I mean, so I'll give an example, 2 examples. One, I don't know if you remember the movie Dune that came out, like, was it last
Mm-hmm.
year? It was an adaptation of the Frank Herbert, series of books, the Dune trilogy? I'm not sure if it's a trilogy, series, but they're really thick books because he creates this entire world, universe. It's stunning science fiction, but they're very, very thick. And so a lot of people, when the movie came out, they were like, I have read the book, or I haven't read the book, but I still want to know what's going on before I go see the film. And so there is a graphic novel adaptation of the Dune books. And I haven't read the full novels. My partner has, and he was like, you need to know the story before you go see the film. Okay. So I got the graphic novels and I read through it, and it was basically the entire plot of most of the first book, but just, rather than spending a full page describing the way the sand moves in the wind, there's a panel showing that. And it sort of focuses more on the dialogue and the action of, the characters moving around and interacting with each other and fighting. So that's one example where I still really want to go read the full book. But in terms of getting, the characters, the plot, the action, the overall themes, this was a really great way to interact with it if you are someone who maybe, either can't or doesn't want to read like a 500-page novel or needs an entry into that before you dive in.
Hmm.
I think another
And I think a lot
element
of people will say that the books are way better than the movies.
usually are. And I'm not to say that graphic novel adaptations are worth diving into without thinking about the novel first. If it's being adapted, it's probably because the original was fantastic.
Hmm.
But they want to, expand to as many different audiences as possible. And for some, this is just a much more accessible way. Um, Another option I will give, and I will leave it at that because I can talk about graphic novels for years. Congressman John Lewis, before he passed some years ago, had worked with a graphic novel writer and artist to create the March series, which I believe there's 3 books in the series March. And this sort of went through his own lived experience leading the early civil rights movement when he was a youngin, and sort of how that has influenced his work in Congress for basically the rest of his life. And so the writer and artist, I believe the artist was Nate Powell, worked with Congressman Lewis very closely to get the story directly from him, focus on like, hey, what were you seeing? What were you thinking during this event, during this movement? How do you remember this? And they put it into a graphic novel form. And it's stunning. Like, and these, I believe all 3, if not at least the first book in the series, have been like bestsellers and won like award after award because they're, documentations of historical events straight from the source, but also in a way that, kids and teens can get involved too. A lot of the civil rights movement was really, really intense and really bloody. And this was a way for Congressman Lewis to sort of put that experience in a, a more accessible way, not just for himself, for adults, but for everyone to learn from. So that's another example. It's pure like memoir nonfiction, but in a purely visual format. And I would highly recommend the March books. They're stunning. They're really, really, really great.
That sounds like a great gift.
Yeah, yeah. It's like reading historical nonfiction without it feeling like it.
Mhm.
It's not as heavy sometimes. Um,
Yeah, I think
but
that's
yes,
awesome. I'm
yeah.
gonna have to try one because I think you have these images in your mind on what it looks like as you're reading it, but then
Hmm.
to see what the author kind of intends and to try to match that up and I can just see that spinning you off into some other thoughts and yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's pretty cool.
If you want some
Mm.
focused recommendations for what you specifically like, let me know because it can be a little overwhelming searching for something when you don't really know how to or what our options are.
Mhm.
More than happy to help you find something. But if you feel inclined to, our Downtown Bremerton book group on the 26th will be talking about all of the fun graphic novels that we've read this month. So please do feel free to join us.
All right, September 26th. And would you mind, Priya, you were sharing your screen. Uh,
Yes.
how did you navigate to that calendar? I wanted to do the same so I could
Yeah.
catch the link for
Let
tomorrow.
me, I'm going to share again to show. Here we go. Okay, we're back on the Inspire page right here. Do you see it?
Well, how did you get there?
I will show you. Okay, so if you, a couple ways, you can either start on our homepage,
All
and
right.
whenever we publish a new Inspire, it's usually front and center. Or under classes and events on the top black menu bar there, Inspire Lite
Mhm.
is the first option down. So you can click on that and
Gotcha.
it brings you to the digital version. We also have the print version in all of our branches and scattered out in the community. So that is an analog version. And then if you're looking for links to those events that I had mentioned, if you hover over classes and events again and click on classes and events itself, it'll bring you to our calendar of everything going on at all of our locations from today onward. And you can limit by branch. So I just want to look at downtown Bremerton, for instance, and it will show you everything that comes up for downtown Bremerton. So for instance, if you go into book group on the 26th, you can click on that. It'll bring us to the main event page for it. And so this will have all of the information you need to know before you join in. And if it's a virtual or hybrid program, it'll have the Zoom link there as well. Yeah.
All right, that's awesome. All right, so let me share my screen really quick.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, okay, this is really cool here. And what I was looking at was one, it's it's so much information. So it's like, oh, how did I get there before?
Yes.
That's why I like doing it
Mhm.
myself also. And then just to let folks know at home, there's a lot of assisted technology here. So I'm just zooming in. So Priya was looking at this also, but it wasn't quite
It
as
was
clear
teeny.
because, yeah, of the way the image is. But just down here in the bottom, there's a magnifying glass, and then here's a place here where you can expand it. So this is what I did. I went full screen, and then now you've got your zoom in and zoom out. And what's great when you do that is you can come up here and just drag around and pull it to where you want, and then you can see a little bit more. So for folks like me that it's hard to see the small print, even with my glasses on, I'm getting older. This is very helpful as an aid. And this Master Gardening Clinic caught my eye here in
Yeah.
Bainbridge Island in person on the 8th and several times in the month of September, which is great. And then
Mhm.
you can kind of see all this good stuff here. So again, the library has a host of very different things that you probably wouldn't think that the library was doing. Yoga and writing,
Mhm.
mindfulness and movement, which is right here. So fantastic. Introduction to needle felting. I don't know what needle felting is. Sounds like some type of quilting or sewing or knitting.
Similar, it's fiber arts. It's really cool. It's like a very unique way to create uh, like 3D things that aren't just like your knitted scarf or your hat or something like that. Yeah.
Ooh, but it's like 3D with yarn.
Yeah. So it changes
Oh,
the structure and the texture of the yarn, or of the fiber that you're using, so that it has a little bit more body to it.
okay.
Would recommend if you're
Yeah, no,
interested.
that
And
sounds really cool. Oh,
yeah,
the
yeah, I'll
veg
use that as also an entry to say, if you see any events here that are not at your local branch, you can still go. You don't need to be like a Bainbridge library patron to go to an event on Bainbridge. We don't even check library cards, so you could just show up wherever if you feel inclined to drive up there. But yeah, no, you can attend any of these programs, even if that is not your branch of choice.
gotcha. Is there a way like how you can request a book? Can you request a particular event to maybe happen at your local library?
Absolutely, you can. Just get in touch with the branch staff at the location where you'd like it to be. Um, they'll probably direct you to the librarian there or the manager, and we will try to make it happen. We really love to have partnered programs with people out in the community, especially if they are really good at what they do. Um,
Nice.
I don't know anything about needle felting, but I'm so glad that the Port Orchard staff found someone who does. So just like that. Or if there's something where you don't necessarily know how to do it, but you would love to take a class on it or, hear a lecture about it, please do let us know and we can work within our networks to try to find someone or some group to make it happen. We really, really love to hear those ideas.
Yeah, I told you, I learned something new every time you come on, once a month. Look at
Yeah.
this veg club here that's taking place in Bainbridge Island. Discuss storing your harvest in garden, garage, and pantry. Registration required on Tuesday, September 13th, for just 2 hours in person. I mean, this stuff is fantastic. Look at all this cool stuff in here.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's neat. And
yeah,
I will say also for all ages, we usually take a little bit of a breather after summer learning. So you might see that, especially for the youth and teen programs, September might be a little bit light, but that's so the school year can get rolling. And then once we're back into the fall, we're like ready to rock, back in full schedule. So yeah, the Inspire comes out in the last week of every month for the following month. So if you ever have any questions about a program that's coming up or want to see a program coming up, always get in touch with us. We're happy to answer any questions.
all right. Then I wanted to ask you where to register. And as Priya's pulling that up, just on the back page of the Inspire is a quick list of all the different libraries and their contact information here, which is great.
Mhm.
So in one spot, there's Bainbridge and downtown Bremerton, phone number, address, the hours of operation. So right on the back of that Inspire, which is awesome. And again, you can get
Yeah.
your physical copy at any library.
Mhm. I'm going to share real quick to show you, or would you like me to talk you through it to find the
Yeah, you could.
registration?
Yeah. Talk me through it.
Gotcha. Okay, so let's go to the classes and events page. And you can just click classes and events nowhere underneath that. Yep. And that shows you all of the upcoming programs at all of our locations. Was there a specific program you wanted to register for?
You said tomorrow was what
Ah,
was it?
so that one doesn't actually require registration. You can just show up. But
Oh, just that.
yes, the one at the Savings Fitness program at Sylvan. But
Yes.
let's use our yoga program as an example.
Okay.
So if you know the date, you can click right on the date for that calendar. If you don't know the date but know where it is, on the left-hand side menu where it says hosted by for the branch, you can check off downtown Bremerton
Oh, nice. Okay.
and hit search so it reloads it. Cool. And so that'll limit it just to downtown Bremerton. It will show you everything for this month. So let's click into yoga and writing, mindfulness and movement on the 24th. Just as an example. And so this will show you all the details for the event, but if there are events where you need to register, about midway down the page, there will be a section that says registration, call or register online. Let's click that link, register online.
Okay.
Yeah. And so that'll bring up a page where you can register. If you want to call us, you can do that, easy peasy, but you can click register now to see the online element. And so this is just so we know how to get in touch with you and a little bit of information about the event itself. So we just need to know your name, phone number if you have one, a good email, because we do send out updates if anything happens. And like, for instance, if we need to cancel, if you're able to bring your own yoga mat, awesome. Cool. If not, let us know. We won't have tasty snacks, but that is where you wanted them.
I had to try.
Yes. No, but that's exactly right. Exactly. Or if you're like, oh, I need to sit near the speaker because I am, have difficulty hearing, or I need to leave 15 minutes early, that type of thing. Just put it all there. And then when you're all ready, you would click register. That goes to, that's okay. I have access to that registration list, so I can manage it. But that'll go to the staff member who is managing the event. And then it'll send you a confirmation. It also works where if registration is full, it'll pop you on a wait list and send you a notification if you are moved off the wait list. And that's just so we can keep an eye on capacity in the room and things like that.
And let me just say, parents, it's probably been a long summer. And now that the kids are back in school, yoga and writing, mindfulness and movement might be fantastic for you to take advantage of. And there are currently 9 openings. So, yeah, jump on in there.
Yeah. And if there's an event that you see that you can't make, but you are still really interested, you can still reach out and say like, hey, I would love to attend this program, but I am busy. Can you tell me more about it? And that way we could pass on, for instance, like the instructor's information if they are like a local service provider or business or something like that, finding more resources, that type of thing. So we're always open to hearing like, man, I can't make it. I'm still really interested. Is this going to happen again? How can I get involved? So yeah, all fair game. We'll take your questions.
So let me ask you. You just went over how you can sign up, but
Mhm.
let's say you said, if you're really good at something in the community, what would you do? You said, I would love to offer, this workshop or this class or this session. What would you do?
Yeah. So there's two ways you can do that. If you feel comfortable just reaching out to your local branch, like cold calling, or just walking in and talking to the staff there, that is an easy way to make that connection, introduce yourself if you don't know them already, and say, hey, I'm a local insert title here. Here's what I would love to offer. And then you'll get connected with either the librarians who will be planning that program or the manager of that location. You can get rolling from there. Or there is another way if you don't feel comfortable doing that, or if you aren't able to make it into the branch. Let me share again really quickly. So if you are on our web page here, you can just send us a message and it just goes to our general library help email. That's our staff monitor, and it will get routed to the right person. And there's a few ways you can do that. You either go up to the contact here and down to email, or under the how do I section in the middle of the page, click on ask for help. it'll bring you to the contact. I'm going to click on that just so we can follow through. We're going to go to our email line here. Same link as I showed you before. It'll bring you to this page called Ask Us, Tell Us. And this is where you can ask any of your questions if you don't really care who answers it, as long as you want an answer. So we need to know your name. A lot of our questions are, hey, I forgot my library card number. Can you help me find it? So that's, you can check off there. Or, yes, no. A way to get in touch with you. So at the very least, email, what your home library is, if you have one, or just your local branch. And then whatever your question or comment is. And so this is where you could say like, hi, I am a local artist and I run painting classes and I would really love to offer a workshop with the library. How does that work? How do I, make that happen? Or, hey, I want to take painting classes and I don't know where to start. Does the library offer any? Or, my book is overdue. Can you renew it for me? That type of thing. So any question that is remotely related to library services, events, programs, if you aren't able to ask us in the branch or give us a call, you're more than welcome to send us a message through this web form. It goes to all of our librarians and the library staff across all branches, and we will really try to get you an answer within like a day or a couple days. So this will be another place. If you have something to offer, and would like to connect with the library to help offer it to a larger audience.
That's awesome. Thank you, for going over that. One of the things, since we're on this topic, is that the Kitsap Regional Library is going to be helping with filling out the FAFSA.
Mm-hmm.
And so where do I find information on that?
So I'm going to speak for my own ignorance here. I think I need to get caught up a little bit because we have several of our staff members who are trained as FAFSA navigators, who've worked with different community organizations, Graduate Strong being one of the primary ones locally, to help train several of our librarians to walk students and parents through the process of filling out the FAFSA and the WASFA, I believe, as well, the Washington State version of that. In terms of official events, though, let me check and see if we have any set up.
So do you just make an appointment to come in and work with the navigator?
Yes. So there's a few ways you could do that. You can either just, give us a call or stop in and say, hey, I need help filling out my FAFSA. Or you can use that web form I just showed, the Ask Us, Tell Us, to inquire, how do I do this? Or another way, I will share one more time. Let's see. Ignore that page there. I was doing some research. Okay. So you can sort of reserve a librarian to help you with this through our Book a Librarian service. And I'm trying to remember where that is here. Okay. Under Contact, up at the top, you see a section called Book a Librarian. This is just a little web form where you can make an appointment. We used to call it make an appointment with a librarian for 30 to 45 minutes. Can be shorter or longer if needed, for honestly whatever topic it is that you need help with. A lot of the times it's homework help or research help, or if you want to book someone to come talk to your class or organization. I believe one of the topics, yes, is financial aid help here, FAFSA or WASFA. So if you want to fill out this form, you don't have to, but you're welcome to if you don't feel comfortable coming into the branch or giving us a call. We just need to know your name, your local library location, and select a topic here. You'll see a whole bunch of them that we offer through this service, but financial aid help will be the one to select. So we'll go there. And then the next question is just if you want any librarian to get in touch or someone at your local branch. So if you live in downtown Bremerton and you want Priya to help you, you can say, I prefer my local branch. If you don't care, just say yes. And we offer a couple different options, video, email, or phone. And some locations are expanding to in-person as well, depending on if our meeting spaces are available. So if you feel more comfortable doing it in person, I think for FAFSA, I might recommend that because it's sort of you need to be looking at the same screen at the same time, and it cuts down on some complications, but Zoom should work just fine also. Would highly recommend just being in front of a screen either at your home or in the library. So if you prefer in person, just select one of these and put it down here. And then in the last box, just tell us what it is you need, your general timeline, any other questions you might have, that type of thing. And again, this service is available not just for FAFSA or WASPA help, but for, if you need help with your e-reader or want to do some database research and don't really know how to do that or where to start. It's a pretty flexible form, but this is just a way to make an appointment with us.
Priya, drop
Through a
down the list if you don't mind, because I haven't seen this before, and there is a lot, right? I mean, help with your
There it
e-reader, your
is.
Kindle,
Let me make it a
Kobo,
little
which
bigger.
I don't even know what
Okay, there we
Kobo is, or other reading device. That's awesome.
go.
Help
Yeah.
with online library resources, research help, search the library's catalog, the website, or databases.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know,
Yeah.
a
A few
visit
of
from a
these are also,
librarian.
yeah, so To the Library is a program that our youth services librarians do. It is for local school teachers to arrange a classroom visit for their class to come to the library. But this is also a good form to use if you have a community group or organization. Maybe you have your own book group with your neighbors that you do regularly, and you would like a librarian to come and talk to you, or talk about upcoming books, things like that. This is one way where you can sort of start that process of getting someone to come talk.
Yeah, this is fantastic. I'm working with a few different organizations on building some programs for youth, and having that a librarian to help us to research and gather information and kind of cut down on, well, where do we go? How do we begin to search this? Yeah, this is fantastic. Again, another awesome thing the library has to offer, folks. Please take
Yeah,
advantage of it.
please do. And this was something that I'm going to stop sharing for a sec. Something that we developed like early in the pandemic when people still really needed that support, but we couldn't be
Oh,
face to face. So you'll
okay.
see it is, the options are video, Zoom, or phone. So,
Mhm.
or video, email, or phone, because we were virtual at that point. But since we're a little bit more open now, we're definitely open to working with people in person if they feel comfortable doing that. And that's something that you could put in that form also, like, hey, I want to meet, but only in the meeting room or outdoors, that type of thing. Yeah, we try to work with you as best we
That's
can.
fantastic. So you might not have the answer to this question, but this came to me. Actually, shout out to Shaylin from the STEM program from Goodwill, and
Cool.
it's that time, and so this is what prompted the question about the FAFSA. And so she knows the
Mm,
library has that. But the question is, can they go over like washboard or other scholarship or grant opportunities and
hmm.
sites, providing that research?
I don't see why not. Specifically, our teen services librarians, they work pretty closely with local schools and, again, Graduate Strong, the local organization that works with schools and youth and parents to get those graduation rates and those financial aid opportunities out there. Um, I don't see why not. I would say if you would like a specific answer, because I don't work in teen services, um, either yourself or was it Shaylin? Shaylin.
Shaylin.
Um, Shaylin. They can absolutely reach out to their local library branch, and we will try to get a good answer there for you. I'm sorry, I don't have them off the top of my head.
Oh no, it's okay. And you showed us several ways on how to contact and ask for help, which is phenomenal. So I love that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you for that. But there are a lot of good other sites out there, like My Scholarly is a big one. It was on Shark Tank, and so there's like
Mm.
thousands of scholarships. I was just telling someone about this yesterday. Are you left-handed? Do you speak Klingon? 1 minute video essay. $200, $500, $1,000, and
Yeah.
it's pretty easy. And man, there's just money out there, and that's money that you can use on top of your FAFSA. So take advantage of it, people. Uh, that is
Absolutely.
my money minute there. So
Branded.
that
Farmhouse Money Minute.
I should do that. But no, that's really cool. I thank you for sharing that. So
Sure.
did we cover everything? Because man, we went over a lot today.
We did. I think we covered most of the stuff that's going on now. Maybe next time, if you remind me next time, we can dig into a couple of the databases. Since the school
Ooh,
year is starting and people are sort of getting into study mode, no matter how old you are, we have some homework help databases available that definitely want their own time being talked about. So I'm more than happy to cover them next time.
got you. No, I love
Yeah.
it. I actually do have some. I'm working on some things behind the scenes, and I have been having
Mhm.
some difficulty with finding stats for
Hmm.
different things that I'm researching. So I'll go to a place and it's like, ah, it's not quite what I'm looking for, or I'll access one database of information, and it says, oh, we'll go over here to, let me see, for example, maybe to the CDC or somewhere else. So I'm
Mm.
there looking for the stats that I heard on a broadcast or on a YouTube show or something, and it's like, I can't find it. So it's like, what am I missing? So, some of that methodology on how to search and, kind of stay
Yeah.
in between the lines so you're not somewhere else 5 hours later. It's like, what was I looking for originally?
Yeah, that's sort of like the thrill of the hunt from a librarian's perspective. We're like, we know the answer is out there. You just have to find the right path to it. And it takes a while. But that's something we're absolutely happy to help with. If you want to reach out, either to myself or honestly, any of our librarians should be able to help. But yeah.
It's fun for like 45 minutes. And then after about, all right, it's been an hour. I still can't find this thing. I've learned about a whole bunch of other stuff, but I'm not finding what I'm looking for. Like, okay,
Mhm.
the thrill is gone. The thrill is gone.
That- That's what you have us for. Yeah.
Well, of course, as always, I appreciate you. Folks, please check out the library. There's a lot of cool things there. Uh, Again, every month, you share something new about what the library has to offer, and the library continues to innovate and do really cool things. Of course, there is the mobile book where you can check out a book and they will come and deliver it, which is awesome. I'm hoping to do a ride along for that soon, so I'm looking forward to
Nice.
having that experience. And then the book locker, which is where's the book locker again?
Paulsbo,
In
at our
Paulsbo.
Paulsbo location.
So it's
Mhm.
kinda like an Amazon locker, so you can check out your books and turn in your books there, which is really fantastic. So, Kitsap Regional
Yeah.
Library is continuing to innovate and find different ways to interact with the community. Just a really important piece, for the community. And again, helping out with the community needs assessment. There's about, I think, 5 weeks left, maybe 4 now, to complete the community needs assessment, where you can share what you think the community needs. And so it's important to have your voice heard. And I will be sharing that information out once that data is available. It'll be available to everyone, but I'll be intentionally sharing that information out and trying to talk about uh, how important that information is and what the different organizations plan on doing about that community needs assessment and how we'll continue to change and innovate here in Kitsap County. But it's a great time to be here in Kitsap.
It is. Yeah.
So I will give you the final word.
Oh gosh. I hope everyone's had a really nice summer. We're getting back to the cooler weather, so we can take a collective sigh. And as we start our school years or just a new season or whatever, please do lean into library services. We want to help you with whatever your goals are. Thanks for having me.
All right, everyone. Well, you heard it there from Priya Chari. Uh, for Priya, I am Marwan Cameron. This is The Conduit. We will see you next month. That is the first Tuesday at 3 p.m., everyone.